A student's overview of the ageless wisdom was carefully compiled from the following books by Alice A. Bailey. A Treatise on Cosmic Fire. Esoteric Psychology, Volumes 1 and 2. Esoteric Healing. Esoteric Astrology. The Rays and the Initiations. Students are encouraged to download the free PDF version of this overview by following the link in the video's description, or to order a printed copy at cost from thebookpatch.com, but are advised to read the original, unabridged books in order to gain deeper insight into the ageless wisdom. Students are also invited to join our online study group at facebook.com/groups/students of the ageless wisdom. Chapter 19, A Treatise on Cosmic Fire. The Three Halls. Within the hall of ignorance, karma manas rules. The man, weighed down by much misplaced desire, seeks for the object of his heart's attention within the murky halls of densest maya. He finds it there but dies ere garnering all the longed-for fruit. The serpent stings him, and the joy desired recedes from out his grasp. All seeking thus the selfish fruits of karma must each despise each other, hence strife and greed, ill will and hatred, death and retribution, karmic invocation and the thunderbolt of vengeance characterize this hall. Within the hall of learning, intellect rules and seeks to guide. Desire of a higher kind, the fruit of manas and its use, supplants the lower kamic urge. Man weighs and balances, and in the twilight halls of intellection seeks for the fruit of knowledge. He finds it but to realize that knowledge is not all, he dies upon the open field of knowledge, hearing a cry beat on his dying ears. Know that the knower is greater than knowledge, the seeker is greater than that which is sought. Within the hall of wisdom the spirit rules, the one within the lesser ones assumes supreme control. Death is not known within these halls, for its two great gates are passed. Discord and strife both disappear and only harmony is seen. The knowers see themselves as one, they recognize the field wherein knowledge grows as Brahmic dissonance and differentiation. Knowledge they know as method, an instrument of purpose utilized by all and just a germ of eventual recognition. Within this whole union of each with each, blending of one and all, and unity of action, goal and skill marks every high endeavor. 1. Knowledge petals, first circle. Organized in the hall of ignorance. Guided by the force and energy of the Mahachahan. The third group of solar Treatise affected. 2. Love petals, second circle. Organized in the hall of learning. Guided by the force of the Bodhisattva. The second group of solar lords affected. 3. Will or sacrifice petals, third circle. Organized in the hall of wisdom. Guided by the force and energy of the Manu. The first group of solar angels affected. There are, in connection with human evolution, certain factors which produce definite and important results, when connected with each other through linking streams of energy and therefore consciously functioning. These factors might be considered as follows, dividing them into two groups, each of them emphasizing the duality of the microcosmic manifestation. Group I. The knowledge petals. The knowledge petal in each of the two inner circles. The centers on the mental plane. The throat center in etheric matter. The altar major center. The physical brain. Group 2. the love petals. The love petal in each circle. The centers on the astral plane. The heart center in etheric matter. The pituitary body. The sympathetic nervous system. End of page 89. These various alignments, when functioning with due adjustment, result in the transmission of energy in the first case from the manasic permanent atom, and in the second case from the buddhic permanent atom. I would like to enumerate the lines of alignment of the third group which eventually transcends the other two, and effects the final illumination and liberation of the man. Group 3. The sacrifice petals. The sacrifice petals in the two outer groups. The three major centers in each of the three planes of the three worlds, producing thus absorption of the lower four centers on each plane. The head center, or the thousand-petaled lotus. The pineal gland, producing the vivification and irradiation of the entire lower nature. These three groups of forces in man, when synthesized, produce eventually that perfect coordination and adaptation to all conditions, forms and circumstances which eventuate in the escape of the liberated vital spark. The egoic lotus and the etheric centers. It remains now to point out the close connection between the unfoldment of the petals in the egoic lotuses and the etheric centers in man. It is through the centers that psychic energy flows. Students should carefully bear in mind the two following facts. First, the etheric body is vitalized, as we know, by prana. Pranic energy is the stimulator of animal activity, and of physical plane development. Its effect is primarily upon the atoms of the physical body, and it has a triple effect upon the substance of the physical body. 1. It preserves the animal health of the body. 2. It constructs and builds in the body, through its energy and force currents, what is needed to replace the daily wear and tear. 3. It is the medium whereby man comes into physical touch with his brother man. Physical magnetism is largely, even if not wholly, dependent upon prana. It is only when the etheric centers, the two head centers and the heart center, are fully active with their 12 petals completely unfolded that the central circle of petals in the egoic lotus, the fourth or inner circle, unfolds. The significance of the 4 circles in the egoic lotus, and the 8 circles of 12 petals each in the etheric lotuses on the mental plane is of great importance. The centers with which man has to deal are necessarily 5 at this stage owing to the following facts, which must be studied if a man desires to awaken his centers according to plan, and if he wishes safely to follow along the line of the true psychic unfoldment. 1. The fact that the energy starts from the 5th plane, the mental, where man is concerned. 2. The fact that it is through the agency of the 5th principle that man can consciously work at his own unfoldment. 3. The fact that the path of evolution is for man a 5-fold one, covering the 5 planes of human unfoldment, and is divided into 5 stages as regards the ego. 4. The fact that although this is the second solar system from the standpoint of the egoic cycles of the Logos, or his second major egoic cycle, yet it is the 5th when viewed from another angle, that of the lesser cycles. It corresponds to the 5th period in human evolution, that in which man treads the path. The Logos is now treading the cosmic path. 5. the fact that the fifth spirala is in process of awakening. This has to be effected before the interplay of energy between the egoic lotus and the etheric centers becomes so powerful as to awaken man's physical brain, and cause him to become aware of the inner currents. This takes place usually when the fifth petal is organized. End of page 90. The first indication that the etheric centers have become active in a fourth-dimensional sense, or become wheels turning upon themselves, occurs when the aspirant has complied with certain details. He must work upon the unfoldment of the fifth and sixth petals, or the final two in the second circle, and must endeavor to bring about two things in connection with his threefold lower nature. He must align his three bodies so that there is a direct channel of contact formed between the ego and the physical brain. He must strive to bring about a stabilization of both the astral body and the mind, and must aim at that emotional equilibrium which is produced by the conscious balancing of forces. He must study the laws of transmutation and be a student of that divine alchemy which will result in a knowledge of how to transmute the lower force into the higher, of how to transfer his consciousness into the higher vehicles, and of how to manipulate energy currents so that his own nature is transformed. He will then become a channel for the light of the ego, and for the illumination of Buddhi to pour through for the saving of the race, and the lighting of those who stumble in dark places. He must demonstrate the laws of radioactivity in his own life on the physical plane. His life must begin to radiate, and to have a magnetic effect upon others. Knowledge is the right apprehension of the laws of energy, of the conservation of force, of the sources of energy, of its qualities, its types and its vibrations. It involves an apprehension of the different key vibrations, the centers whereby force enters, the channels along which it circulates, the triangles and other geometrical figures which it produces during evolution, the cycles and the ebb and flow of energy in connection with the different types of planetary manifestation, including all the kingdoms of nature. The true significance of those force aspects which we call periods of pralaya and those we call periods of manifestation. It also involves a right realization of the laws of obscuration. Love is the right apprehension of the uses and purposes of form, and of the energies involved in form building, the utilization of form, and the eventual dissipation of the superseded form. It involves a realization of the laws of attraction and repulsion, of the magnetic interplay between all forms, great and small, of group relationships, of the galvanizing power of the unifying life, and the attractive power of one unit upon another, be it atom, man, or solar system. It involves an understanding of all forms, form purposes, and form relationships. It concerns the building processes in man himself, and in the solar system, and it necessitates the development of those powers within man which will make him a conscious builder, a solar pie tree of a coming cycle. Sacrifice involves even more than what has been already pointed out. It involves the following factors: knowledge of the purposes and intentions of the planetary logos, realization of the particular and peculiar type of energy, and of the quality of his own ray lord, comprehension of the different groups of existences who are participating in planetary evolution and in solar manifestation, a revelation as to certain cosmic enterprises in which our planetary logos is acting as an intelligent cooperator. Thus is brought in the factor of extrasystemic force. the elementals and the microcosm. Man, in the process of evolution, as he pursues the method of reincarnation, works with 4 types of builders and 3 major grades of building essence or deva substance. He connects with the transmitting devas who are found in connection with the microcosm on the 4th subplane of the mental plane, and on the atomic subplanes of the astral and physical plane. He connects next with the devas concerned with the mental unit, the astral permanent atom, the physical permanent atom. He cooperates with the work of the building devas who form the etheric body, and influences the building devas of the dense physical substances, so that the necessary physical vehicle for his objective manifestation becomes an actuality. End of page 91. We must remember here that all the atomic subplanes of the 7 planes form the 7 spiralae of the logoic permanent atom, for this has a close bearing upon the subject under consideration. The units, therefore, in the 3 lower kingdoms possess no permanent atoms but contribute to the formation of those atoms in the higher kingdoms. First, it might be said that the lowest or mineral kingdom provides that vital something which is the essence of the physical permanent atom of the human being. It provides that energy which is the negative basis for the positive inflow which can be seen pouring in through the upper depression of the physical permanent atom. Secondly, the vegetable kingdom similarly provides the negative energy for the astral permanent atom of a man. And thirdly, the animal kingdom provides the negative force which when energized by the positive is seen as the mental unit. This energy which is contributed by the 3 lower kingdoms is formed of the very highest vibration of which that kingdom is capable, and serves as a link between man and his various sheaths, all of which are allied to one or other of the lower kingdoms. 1. The mental body, mental unit, animal kingdom. 2. The astral body, astral permanent atom, vegetable kingdom. 3. The physical body, physical permanent atom, mineral kingdom. In man these 3 types of energy are brought together, and synthesized, and when perfection of the personality is reached, and the vehicles aligned, we have 1. The energy of the mental unit, positive. 2. The energy of the astral permanent atom, equilibrized. 3. The energy of the physical permanent atom, negative. Man is then closely linked with the 3 lower kingdoms by the best that they can provide, and they have literally given him his permanent atoms, and enabled him to manifest through their activity. Each kingdom is positive to the one next below it, and between them is found that period of manifestation which bridges the 2, and connects the positive and the negative. The Lipika Lords. The Lipika Lords, controlling the periodical manifestation of life are, roughly speaking, divided into the following groups, which it might be of interest to note. 1. 3 extra-systemic or cosmic lords of karma, who work from a center in Sirius through the medium of 3 representatives. These form a group around the solar logos, and hold to him a position analogous to the 3 Buddhas of activity who stand around Sanat Kumara. 2. 3 Lipika lords who are the karmic agents working through the 3 aspects. 3. 9 Lipikas who are the sum total of the agents for the law working through what the Kabbalah calls the 9 Sephiroth. 4. 7 presiding agents of karma for each one of the 7 schemes. These 4 groups correspond in manifestation to the unmanifested, manifesting through the triple aspects, and under them work an infinity of lesser agents. These lesser agents might again be somewhat differentiated, each of the following groups being found in every scheme and on every ray emanation. End of page 92. Agents of the Lipika Lords. 1. The Lipika Lords of a scheme who, through the manipulation of forces, make it possible for a planetary logos to incarnate under the law, and work out his cyclic problem. 2. Those who, under the first group, control the destiny of a chain. 3. Those who are the energy directors of a globe. 4. Agents of every kind who are concerned with the karmic adjustments, incident upon the periodical manifestation of such forms as around, 7 in all. A kingdom in nature, 7 in all. The human kingdom. A root race, subraces and branch race. A nation, a family, a group, and their correspondences in all the kingdoms. A plane. The reptile and insect world. The bird evolution. The devas. Human units, egoic groups, monadic lives, and myriads of other forms, objective and subjective, planetary and interplanetary, in connection with the Sun, and in connection with the planetoids. The 7 centers, with which man is concerned, are themselves found to exist in 2 groups, a lower 4, which are related to the 4 rays of attributes, or the 4 minor rays, and are, therefore, closely connected with the quaternary, both microcosmic and macrocosmic, and a higher 3 which are transmitters for the 3 rays of aspect. End of chapter 19.